Gillum continues to lead.
Yeah.
Every poll I've seen of this matchup has had him ahead.
Has been ahead from the
beginning.
Yep.
Every poll, and I think he's dragging Nelson along.
I think
I think Nelson is in his draft, and it's really helping Nelson a lot. You saw that rally the other day. You had Obama and Gillum essentially bringing Nelson along with them.
Let's just say when Bill Nelson goes to an Amy church, they're not standing up in the pews for Bill Nelson. Nothing against Bill Nelson.
No.
But I mean, he did draw a great gubernatorial candidate for what he needs for his weak spot, Bill Nelson. I think you're right. I think Gillum may drag him over the finish line.
What happened to Rick Scott? Didn't he get a bump from his the hurricane?
Didn't get, yeah. I mean, see, and they polled the question of how did the governor handle the hurricane. It was 61-21 support. You know, he had Democrats coming out there praising him, and the thought among Republicans, the hope among Republicans was, you remember Chris Christie in New Jersey with Superstorm Sandy, that you would see a mini version of that. I don't see it in those numbers, no.
All right, want to get Heidi in here. The president visited Florida yesterday where he leveled this criticism of Democrat Andrew Gillum, who is vying to be the state's first black governor.
I will say this, Andrew Gillum is not equipped to be your governor. Just not equipped. It's not for him. It's not for him. He knows it. He won't say it, but he knows it. We got to keep this state great. You're going to make it even greater if you do, Ron, and otherwise, I'm telling you, it's going to be problems like you've never imagined.
Okay, it's a similar line of attack that he used last week against Stacey Abrams, who was also looking to be Georgia's first black governor. And yesterday, Abrams responded.
Well, Oprah's good, but the woman that she's supporting is not qualified to be the governor of Georgia by any stretch of the imagination. And I think Brian's going to be a great governor of Georgia. I think he'll be a fantastic governor. He's totally qualified. She is not qualified to be the governor of Georgia. She's not qualified.
He said you just simply weren't qualified to be governor. He didn't say why. How did you take that assessment?
I find his assessments to be vapid and shallow. I am the most qualified candidate. I am a business owner. I'm a tax attorney who was trained at Yale Law School. I am a civic leader who helped register more than 200,000 Georgians. I am a very accomplished political leader who worked across the aisle to improve access to education, to transportation, and I blocked the single largest tax increase in Georgia history. There is no one more qualified standing for this office in Georgia.
And how funny that a guy that inherited $200 million from his daddy blew it all, went bankrupt,
Bankrupt
several times, and now can't even build a building. He just puts his name on buildings because he can't get a loan in New York City because he's such a bad business person. He's a reality TV host, and that even faded at the end. I mean, how funny that he's doing that, but. I immediately went back to 1987 when I heard those words, not equipped. It sounded like something that Al Campanis said on Nightline when he said that that black players were very good, but they lacked certain
the essentials.
Essentials. I don't believe it's prejudice. I truly believe that he may not have some of the necessities to be, let's say, a field manager or perhaps a general manager. Campanis was fired for saying that 30 years ago. The President of the United States said that this weekend.
Well, you know, there are a lot of races to cover. We've covered a lot of races, but in a sense, we haven't paid enough attention to the internals of what's going on in that Georgia governor's race. I mean, Brian Kemp, the Secretary of State, a horrific conflict of interest. He is in charge of the election. He's been in charge of trying to suppress the vote in Georgia for several years.
A court called him out. Federal court called him out for trying to suppress the vote.
And with no proof at all over the weekend, he charges the Democrats' campaign for governor with trying to alter the vote, with trying to bag the election. No proof at all. 2 days before the election.
But just back to the point you were making, Joe. This is vile, putrid, frank racism.
Thank you.
It's just that's what it is.
That's just what it is.
Not even pretending. It's not dog whistle. It's you know, it's a klaxon. It's a siren. It couldn't.